Previously on Funny Science Fiction.
And they always say that a sound booth is a great place to murder someone because you scream like crazy and people they're just doing a part. They're just doing a part. And then they could just, dispose of the body later in the evening or something.
Hi, this is Ogie Banks, and welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
The podcast that's the reason Gordon Shumway swears off eating cats. You're welcome, kitties.
Before we introduce our guest, let's say hello to our special guest co-host. He's been a guest and a guest host before, Frank Duran from the Warped Shelf podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm so excited to be back. Thanks. I don't know why you keep inviting me back. I feel like I inflict so much terror, and then you guys just...
It's the mayhem. We like the mayhem. We like the mayhem. What can I say?
I mean, the fact that we do the podcast to begin with, obviously we're questionable people, so it just makes sense.
You just kind of go with it, it's part of the flow.
Just roll with it.
They're like, Batman villain, podcast host, very close connection there.
There you go. It's the laugh. We just keep you around for the laugh. Well, today we're super excited to talk with our special guest. And we brought Frank here as well for this. He's also very excited. And we're here today to introduce you to Ogie Banks. Now, Ogie is an amazing voice actor with a huge portfolio of work. And personally, I am most excited to talk to him about his work as Powerman or Luke Cage. And, some Miles Morales too. But, Luke Cage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I love me some Luke Cage.
Nice.
So, Ogie, hey, thanks for being on the show. We're so excited to have a few minutes to sit down and chat with you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Thanks. I appreciate being here. Thanks.
Yeah, we've been talking to we were talking about this pre-show right before you came in, that we've been talking with a lot of voice actors as of late, and because you guys are cool, man. No, seriously, I am very impressed by what voice actors do. The fact that you can have a conversation, and I watched another interview of yours with somebody else, and I can't remember the woman's name who interviewed you, and I am so sorry to her for not remembering her name. This is bad of me.
Probably JJ. Was it JJ?
I don't remember, but you were talking about how you had a conversation in one of your scenes between Powerman and Miles Morales, and how you read the whole rundown, bouncing back and forth between characters, and I'm like, see, that's why I want to talk to this guy right there. That's
I can barely talk to myself in one voice, let alone multiple voices.
Right?
Yeah, that's the fun. That's the fun. That's the fun of being a little bit crazy too. You know what I mean? You can do stuff like that because you have to be a little crazy in order to...
Love it.
Well, that does explain some of our previous guests.
Well, you got to be a little crazy to do podcasting too. So, hey, there's that. So, all right, Ogie, I got to get this out of the way or I'm going to explode because I am
He literally will.
What's that?
He literally will. Wilhelm scream and all.
Yeah, I will be sitting here giggling like a school child if I don't get this out of me pretty quickly. I'm a huge Luke Cage fan. That's, so from the comics to the video games, I think of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. He was my favorite character to play in those games. I couldn't wait to unlock him and use that character, to the live action run on Jessica Jones, to his own show, to carrying around that weak excuse for Danny Rand and Iron Fist on his back throughout Defenders. I've always thought Luke Cage, there's the hot take for the day. I've always thought Luke Cage was super, super cool. And I know that some of the work that you do, I'm sure some of it you take because, hey, it's a paycheck and I'm getting paid and this will get me going till the next job. But did voicing Luke Cage and being able to say "Sweet Christmas" mean anything more to you, or were you a Luke Cage fan coming into this?
I didn't know. Sorry, I have a child back there. I didn't know.
So does Kathleen. It's all good.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't have that deep of info about Luke Cage, but once I was auditioning for the part, I dove in and I did all kinds of research, from the old to the new, because this was because they were doing a new spin on it where it was the younger Luke Cage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Powerman.
So all the stuff I was reading, it was the older Luke Cage, and he was like a man, and I was like, well, how was he when he was a kid? But once I did book the part, I remember that my voiceover friend said, "Okay, it's your responsibility that you have to know everything about this character. You have to take it to heart. You have to." I was like, "I'm honored to play it." I was like, "They go, no, you have to know your research and do the history and everything." So I did. I did. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did all that research beforehand, because once we started recording, I could kind of, that was the one big note. Cool. He's cool.
Mhm.
So I had to be cool,
That's right.
a cool superhero, So it was like, so that was the thing, was trying to be cool and trying to be the superhero and trying to fit in with this group of superheroes. But my character kind of took on the I was the glue of the group. I was the glue of our group. You know what I mean? I turned out to be the glue of the group, and it turned out to be that way because in real life we were all friends, and I was kind of like Powerman, the glue of our group of friends.
Nice.
Which was pretty cool. But Luke Cage is he's cool. He is real cool. And Sweet Christmas. Now, when it came to Sweet Christmas, I was like, who says Sweet Christmas? And what is this? I was like, did he get candy for Christmas? What is this Sweet Christmas? Now, I thought it was a holiday thing. But then they had me fighting monsters and saying Sweet Christmas after I beat them up, So I was like, that's pretty cool. Who came up with Sweet Christmas? Who thinks of that?
Yeah, it was a euphemism for profanity, because I believe it was his grandmother did not like profanity.
Okay.
And so,
okay.
yeah, and so instead of saying other words that would get him in trouble around his grandmother, it was Sweet Christmas. Sweet Christmas.
So are we going to allow Luke Cage euphemisms on our show now? Because
bingo.
I'm so for that.
I don't know about you, but I've been saying Sweet Christmas for years. So
I am all for the strange not swearing. Let's do it.
So yeah, that's cool. So and all that deep dive on your trivia that you know about Luke Cage trivia now is going to help you out at the end of the show when we play our trivia game.
Oh no!
Was it too early to send out the worry warning?
Games
out now.
We're so early in
games
the show.
Games too. Okay.
Ogie's looking at his watch. He's like, yeah, look at that time. I gotta go. I got a thing to catch.
He's just gonna kick his kid and be like, "Oh no, my kid's crying. I gotta go."
Oh man!
Not that I condone kicking children ever. No.
We might edit that part out.
Might be tempting sometimes.
It's all good. It's okay. It's okay.
You do so much voice acting for not only movies but for games also. And as a gamer, and I really love your take of Firestorm in Injustice. I'm so hyped to hear that you were that, and I'm a big fan of that game. And basically, are you a gamer? And if so, what is your go-to game?
Yes, I am a gamer. My go-to game is NBA 2K.
Nice.
I don't know, just the feel of slamming that basketball, my character slamming, and it looks like me. And also, I love hearing the commentator say, "Banks with the ball, Banks dribbling
Right.
the court." Banks is calling my name, so I love that. I'm a Mario fan. I love Mario.
Nice.
I love Mario games. I'm a big Mario fan. I'm not good with horror games because they scare me too much.
Yeah.
Even with the lights on,
I get that.
They scare me.
I get that.
And then the puzzle games. I'm not good at puzzle games. I'm not good at puzzle games either. I'll be stuck in the room for hours and I'll throw the controller, or something. I'm not good at puzzle games. But yeah, NBA is my go-to. And now with Firestorm, that was that was a cool job because I had to wear a headpiece. They had me wearing a headpiece with a light and a camera that came down and up right here, right? And then I had like a belt on, and I was in this big, huge studio, like wailing my arms and doing the performance. But I was so out of character with that performance, and I really trusted the director because we really had to find the voice, find the character. And so I kind of like went with what my acting teacher said. He said, if you're feeling out of your zone, then you're doing a good job. You're like in it, you know? And I just trusted, and I was in it, and I did it. But here's the funny thing. We had a break. And so, you know, break, and I'm eating my little cheese, and I have a little water, you know? And so we come back to break, and the lady puts on the headpiece with the camera coming right up there. And so they go, okay, OG, you ready to start? And they go, and then there's silence. And then they come back on. They said, OG, excuse us, but could you get a tissue? You have some boogers. You have some boogers up in your nose. Could you get a tissue and get those boogers? I was mortified. I didn't know what to do. I mean, of course, I get the tissue, and then I'm doing it. But here's the worst part. There's no mirror there. So I'm like, did I get them? Did I get all the boogers? And they're like, no, on your left nostril, there's one stuck there. And I'm like, and then I'm thinking, are my hairs coming out or something? What is just a nightmare. That was a nightmare. Oh, but that was an awesome. And we did that job. It took like a long time for that job. We did that job for several months, you know? Wow. I remember going in there and like doing a performance for like almost all day. And then they're like, okay, we'll see you in a couple months. I'm like, really? We didn't finish? It was a lot of dialogue. It was a lot, but that was a fun one. That was fun.
Yeah, I think that's one of the more fun parts of Injustice is that it does have so many lines of dialogue and interaction between characters, and seeing Firestorm interact with everybody is awesome.
Yeah. That's why I was surprised. Like with a beat 'em up video game like that, you usually don't have that much dialogue. Usually it's just taking punches and giving punches, you know. But I was talking. So that was pretty awesome.
I have to say that your story there is a very close rival to Robin Curtis's story of trying to find the seam line in William Shatner's toupee.
Yeah,
we had Robin Curtis on a couple weeks back, and we just posted her interview, and we talked to her. She was talking about funny stories from being on set. And she talks about how, you know, she's standing up on the hill behind William Shatner. And she's like, and I was there. So I'm looking and I'm trying to, she's like, it's the best toupee I've ever seen. She's like, but I think I found the line. Yeah. So, but yeah, your story is your guys' stories are like a 1 and a 1A. That's pretty close there, OG. That's pretty good.
Those are good stories. So, you mentioned that, I mean, this is totally not the question I had actually prepared, but with video games, you said you don't like horror video games. That they scare you.
Yeah, I really do get scared.
But you did voices on Last of Us Part 2.
I know, I did.
How did you deal with the fact that you knew it was going to be a scary game? And I'm sure I haven't actually played that one yet, but I know there's a lot of scary things.
They come at you, you know, like the zombies. They move, they get at your face, and that's what freaks you out.
I've dealt with enough bloaters in my time. Those things are freaky.
Yeah, they are. But when I went in for that game, I was like, I was a little, I knew it was like scary. I played the first one, I didn't finish it because once I got to the part where it's like this underground or sewer part, and all these monsters, especially this flower-looking monster thing, just kept eating me, and I was and it was so dark, and I couldn't finish it. But the cool thing is, when I did The Last of Us 2, there were 3 other people there in the room with me, other actors in there with me. So I wasn't alone, So it was like we were kind of like talking amongst each other and like talking about things, So it was a lot better than being alone and scared. But that's another thing.
Were you in the room with Laura Bailey, though?
What's that? What?
Were you in the room with Laura Bailey?
No, not on that one. Not on that one. I know Laura very well. She's awesome.
Sorry, I love her.
She's awesome. I always see her doing her superhero stuff. That's when I see her.
So Tim has already showed off his Funko.
Yeah.
But I have my little Laura Bailey Critical Role one.
Nice.
I have Laura and Travis, so I have Grog too.
Nice. Look at you. Look at you.
Sorry.
Yeah, I always see
Last of Us and Laura Bailey, and I absolutely adore her.
Laura's awesome. She's a true superhero in life. I would say that.
Yeah, and she's married to Thor, so I get it.
Yeah. You're hilarious.
So back to what I'd actually prepared as a question, but then I got distracted, and it happens. So as a young man, what influenced you? What made you decide that voice acting was the direction you wanted to go?
Oh, well, I was a big Eddie Murphy fan. You know, I watched a lot of Eddie Murphy's movies, all his stand-up and everything. So he was really my big influence. I did a lot of Eddie Murphy movies, and so with that propelled me into acting, wanting to do acting, and so and I guess when I was really young in grade school, I was the only chocolate child in my school. And I remember one day they wanted to do a school play. And these people were coming out, these directors were coming out to the school to do a play. And so they had the whole school there. And they said, so we need somebody who's the most talented person here. I didn't even do it. I was new to the school, but because I was chocolatey, everybody pointed to me. Everybody pointed to me. And they said, Ogie. And I was like, oh, me? So and this is no lie. So I had to do the lead of this play in school when I was a little tyke. And so from there, you know, and everybody was like great. And so from there, my mom took me to classes and all that. And then I grew up doing more and more and more. So I was doing on camera. And then my on camera agent said, hey, I have this voiceover thing. You want to go out for this voiceover thing? I said, yes, indeed, I do. And so I went out for it and I booked it. And it was like this puppy dog for this kid's frozen pizza, you know? And I was like, oh, I like this job. You know, I was like doing my frozen pizza thing and everything. I was like, this is cool. But then I'll never forget this. He was like, okay, I got a big one for you. He was like, this is a voiceover, and it was for Space Jam. And I remember going into the audition for Space Jam, and the director said, hey, you see that picture on the wall? I said, yes. And he said, well, I need a voice for that. I need a voice for that character, and I want you to read that dialogue using that voice. I said, what? Nobody told me this in advance. I prepared my cool guy. You know what I mean? I said, I didn't know I was going to be this monster on the table, right? So anyway, I did that. He gave me the whole script, called me back. I met Ivan Reitman, and I started doing that movie. And once I booked Space Jam, that's when I was like, let me inquire about some voiceovers. And that's when I like really got like an agent, did my demo, blah, 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 blah.
And the rest is history.
And I just focused on voiceover. I was like, let me stick with this because this is jamming. I loved it, you know? Yeah. And I just kept going.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I also like to talk to our guests about their other work, not just the nerdy stuff that we may have brought them on here to talk about, you know, the Luke Cages and the Miles Morales and the Narutos and the Borutos and all that kind of stuff. You know, but back in 1992, you sir had some dancing feet. You were one of the dancers in the movie Newsies.
Yes.
Yes. And,
yes.
And Newsies is my wife's absolute favorite musical and movie. Like, she's head over heels for it. It's one of the things that, like, if we're just hanging around and I'm just like, what about a movie? She's like, Newsies. And I'm just like, didn't we just Newsies? Like, but, you know, like, it's just like, and, you know, just like, but why not? Why not? Throw it on.
Oh, you know, that's awesome. That's awesome.
See, I need to watch it again and be like, and there he is. I found him.
So, I'm curious about this because now, as Kathleen can attest to, I'm not the world's biggest fan of musicals.
Which is the world's biggest understatement.
I was okay, just all right, fine. But I was wondering, were you a trained dancer coming into that? And is that something you kept up with?
No, I was not a trained dancer. I tried my hardest, but I can't bend. I'm not really bendable like with the legs and things. So, but I remember going to that Newsies audition and they said, Ogie, wow, you're an actor that moves well. That's what they called me. An actor that moves well.
That's a huge compliment. You're like, hey.
I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, but that it was difficult for me to learn all those moves. The songs were that I got the songs. I can get the songs, but the choreography, there was a lot of that choreography, and they were real. I mean, those guys were real dancers. I mean, jumping up and touching their toes with their hands and spinning like 50 times and then here's me, the actor that moves well, right? I will never forget this. I'll never forget. There was this one time, it was this big shot, right? And it was this big dance scene. And I'm like, okay, let me remember my part. And I had to spin around. I remember I had to turn around and drop to the ground and turn up, right? Oh, that's hard for an actor that moves well, okay? All these... I seen, in rehearsal, these dancers were just twirling and dipping and dipping and dipping and diving and twirling. And I'm like, help me. Can you help me? And I'll never forget, it was like, all right, action. And here's the shot. And I'm doing the dance, the choreography. And I go, oh, here comes the twirl, dip, and dive. And I did I half did. I twirled and I half dipped. And I went up and twirled. And I said, oh, maybe I got away with it. And no, Kenny Ortega, he called me over and he said, Ogie, you ruined this whole shot. We have to do it all over again. I said, oh, I'm sorry, Kenny. You better believe I dipped and turned that next day over. I couldn't believe I could do that dance. I was like, look at me. I dipped and turned and I right on beat. And I said, he's not going to call my name again. But he did. But just say good job. To say good job.
I'm sure that as soon as that was done, you were like checking your hamstrings. Okay, no, that one's still attached. We're good here. All right.
Every dance scene, I was sweating and 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3. Just trying to remember. I was struggling in that movie, but I did it. I got through it and I did it.
So you told us how you got into voice acting, and now that you have expressed that you are an actor who moves well, was it easy to go just to voice acting instead of being a dancer?
It was. You know why? Because in voice acting, you only have your voice, and to get that sound, you have to move and twirl. People say that I dance like Michael Jackson when I'm recording because I have to, get every inch and everything in there. I really have to contort my body. And I think Newsies and all the bending exercises and the dancing and all of that helped me to really use my body and I guess be loose and not be afraid to, I think if I did it before, I would have really been constricted and I would have been a little shy to really to do that. I would have been, but not where you have to be with the animation,
Right.
So I think it really helped me to break out of my shell a little. Can you tell?
Almost 30 years down the line, it's still helping you.
I am shocked how conservative you are and pulled back.
One of the most boring guests we've ever had.
This is horrible. We got to scrap the whole thing. Oh, this is great.
Kid. Grab that screaming kid. Bring him in here.
Speaking of putting your body into it, I am currently in the middle of watching Baki in the 3rd season. I'm episode 4, and I absolutely love Muhammad Ali Jr. Come on, he's hype. He's just hype. He just comes in and he's just nope, I am the son of Muhammad Ali. Just take the guy's chin out. how do you get ready to do anime type yelling? Like, is it kind of like a workout thing? Like, what do you do to get ready to do something that involves a lot of yelling?
Oh, I wake up. Like if it's a 9 o'clock, I have to be there at 9 o'clock. I wake up hours before to be, so that I'm up, because you have to be up and ready, because if you're saying cloud strike or something like that, you gotta really go for it. You gotta do that. And with Baki, oh my gosh, hell, I mean the bones coming out and the blood. I've never seen an anime or a cartoon like that. So when I was actually recording and I would see my hands break, those were my real sounds of, oh goodness, that it got to me. It really got to me because I've never seen anything like that. I mean, here I am. I said, oh, I love this character. Look at me. I think I'm cool. I'm trying to pick up on my best friend's girlfriend or fiance or whatever. I said, who wrote this? I said, this is such soap opera goodness, But then the next scene, my bones are just breaking, but those were real reactions. I was like, oh my, and then I kept asking, why do I have to get beat up so bad? I mean, why are my knuckles crushed? I mean, why are my feet crushed? I mean, it was like after every fight, more raps, more limps. I was like, what is? Can I win? Can I really win? I was like, but those are, but Frank, those are real sounds. I was like, that was really gross. I was like,
it's brutal. It's brutal.
But you gotta, whatever time is your session, you gotta be up and ready. Like you're like in the middle of a treadmill or something. You want to be ready to go. Like those basketball players that are on the bicycle on the side. And you're like, why they riding that bicycle? And so they can come in running, right? That's me. Come in running.
Yeah. There you go.
Love that, bro. That's awesome.
That's fantastic. All right, so Ogie, you're a very busy voice actor artist. Mm-hmm. You do a lot of voiceover work, and I'm sure that as much as it's clear you enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that it is also draining mentally, physically, emotionally at times. Mm-hmm. Now, just like anybody, no matter what you're doing, no matter how much you enjoy what you do, you have to be able to take a break. So what do you do during your downtime to help to rest your voice and recharge your batteries?
Oh, well, one thing, I try not to talk. I try not to talk. I try to limit my jokes to my friends and everything. I try to like decompress and relax and chill. I watch a lot of TV, but I do that because that's my homework anyway. I have to keep up with things, so I watch a lot of TV. But to relax, I go to the park a lot. I do a lot of walks, that kind of old man stuff. Oh my God, I'm like, I sound like an old man. I have bread and I feed the pigeons. That's what I do. I feed the pigeons. I sit on a park bench and I feed the pigeons. That's I mean,
you include a thermos of hot tea. You're right there, man.
That sounds boring.
And a traveling chessboard.
Yeah. I don't know. I like sports. I love sports. So I go to sporting events whenever I can. I'm always at the Staples Center. In fact, I'm going tonight for the Lakers game. What?
Nice.
I play games. I'm looking at my video games now, so I play games, not just that. I have like stand-up video games and stuff that I play. Puzzles. I started doing puzzles to use my mind, and to be a little bit more intellectual, but on the fun side of intellectual. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Sudoku and all that. Yeah. Everybody knows.
I think I tried Sudoku once for like all of 10 minutes, got ticked and deleted the app. And I'm like, this is stupid. I was done with it.
Doesn't do well with numbers.
I fell in love with Sudoku when they had the DS that you could turn upwards, and then it was Brain Age, and it was Dr. Miyoto being like, I don't know, this is how I make you smarter, play Sudoku. And you were like, yes, Yes, I will be smarter through the DS, and that was all a lie. That was all.
I may have yelled at the doctor, "Screw you, doctor," and yeah.
I never played.
Not saying I'm the shortest on patience, but pretty close there.
Maybe.
A little bit.
So you've talked about your extensive work, and especially in anime. I'm not a huge anime fan.
Okay.
But
I'm here.
okay.
I'm here.
That's okay.
Right?
Don't worry. I'm here.
You fine?
That's why we
But
bring
I
Frank.
did notice in your extensive work history that you were in a few episodes of Naruto. So how does working in a dub show differ from playing a character like Miles Morales or Luke Cage?
Oh, it's a big difference. With Miles and Luke Cage, you have freedom to actually read the words and have time and space to perform and act. When it comes to dubbing anime, it's hard because they show you the anime and it's the Japanese version, so it's the Japanese guy saying whatever, but whatever timing he has in saying those words, that's the time that I have to say my English words to put in there. So
okay.
it's hard to stick all my acting details that I wanted to stick in there if I only have this amount of time to get it in. You know what I mean? So it's really I really play a game of how can I get my details in with just this amount of time? How can I get me in just amount of time and stay in this character and be true? The one good thing is Frank, going back to the battle things, the battle scenes and stuff. The Japanese versions are really good with all their battle cries and shouts and stuff. So I kind of copied them on that kind of stuff. They're really good at that. But really, the dubbing thing, the hardest thing is the timing. And here's one thing though too. It's there might be a lot of words in English to say and just this amount of time to say it. So you're really working with the director because they're changing lines on the fly. So the line might have been, "Hey, are you gonna go over there and see that?" I don't know. And then then they have to change it to, "Hey, you see that?" They're changing something, or they put in totally other different words, or they do a whole new sentence. So you got to be ready to make that sound like it's being said the first time, even though it's not what you were ready to say. It's they're making it on the fly. Because a lot of times there'd be the character might say on screen is it looks like they're saying "buh," so they make sure to put a B word in there where it's a blah, whatever the sentence is, So there's a lot of that going on. So you have to be patient and you have to be ready to say the blah, whatever.
Yeah. It's some Picard 4D chess stuff. It's absolutely a different mind game. Absolutely.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it's when I go in for the dubbing, I'm okay, I'm here to play a game. It's okay, it's a timing game, and it's a dubbing game. It's a total, yeah.
All right.
Speaking of Miles, I'll show off my gear.
Wow.
I got Miles
Nice.
there, and then I got one of my favorite Miles stories, Spiderman.
Nice.
Love Miles. Miles is one of my favorite all-time characters because, Peter Parker's gotten old. Let's go to Miles. Let's go. Everyone's comfortable with Peter. Let's go with somebody else.
Yeah. I've been loving the Miles stuff. And to be a part of it, I just feel so honored.
That's cool.
And speaking of being part of stuff, you're part of so many franchises. So many. It seemed like going through your IMDb, you're just oh my, he's you're another franchise. Which one has meant the most to you personally?
Well, Spider-Man definitely, but my new one I would have to say would be the Muppet Babies.
Yeah,
because
love that.
Just yes, and I watched the Muppets when I was a kid. The beginning song, it's time to play them. Kermit and everything, and so. It's I tell my friends, and when I go into the session, it's Kermit the Frog is "Hi, Ogie." Miss Piggy is "Hi, Ogie." They'd say it in their voice, and I'm "Oh my God, Miss Piggy is saying hello to me."
Miss Piggy knows my name.
Yeah, it's so funny, and this was one of the only times in my life where we're reading the script, and Kermit the Frog has his line, and Gonzo is doing his line, and it's my turn, and I was just enjoying the performance, and I said, oh, and they go, Ogie, I go, oh, I said, I'm in this show too. I get to do this too. I said, that's right. I just had I always go to my kid thought, whenever I'm doing it, Yeah, it's just so crazy. It's crazy.
It's like the real life version of Walter in the Muppet movie when he finally meets the Muppets and he forgets how to talk.
Yeah. I
love it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I would totally do the same thing. I love Muppets.
Yeah, you're just like speechless. Like when it's like, wow, yeah, that's Fozzie Bear. That sure is Fozzie Bear. Yeah, that. And I always say, wow, you sound just like him. But it's like, they're like, I am him. I'm like, I know. But yeah.
We have just started introducing my daughter to Muppets not that long ago.
Really?
She's 2.5 and she loves them.
Oh, sweet.
It's so much fun to get to relive those little bits of my childhood through her.
Yeah.
And it's like, once the Muppet Show went up on Disney, and I'm like, we're watching the Muppet Show. And of course, the first episode I pull up is the Vincent Price episode.
Oh,
I'm like, I could have started at season 1, episode 1, but Vincent Price.
Yeah.
And my daughter was just like,
Was she scared, or did she not get him? Or
She didn't get it. She was like, okay. But then we watched a couple other episodes, and she's like, oh, the Muppets. I'm like, that's what I wanted.
Okay.
Exactly. As long as the best episode, the one with Mark Hamill. That's probably the best one.
That is. But we watched the Muppet Babies too, and she's like, "Yay, Muppets!" That's a little more her speed.
Oh,
probably. There you go.
Yeah.
So, Ogie, we have a Facebook group that we share all these episodes with, and our group right now is up to 125,000 members. We just crossed that plateau here recently, so it's growing.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's growing leaps and bounds. So I put a notice out there that we were recording with you today, and it just put out some of the voices that you do. And so one of our Facebook group members had this question for you.
Okay.
Chris Wheeler wanted to know which character, which you haven't voiced yet, would be your dream role.
Oh, wow, that's a toughie. Oh, wow. Okay. Yep. Deadpool.
Oh
my gosh, that would be fun.
I would love to play Deadpool. Those jokes.
Sure.
People. I mean, I think Deadpool's a genius. And
he is.
I would love to. That would be so much fun. I remember when we did Ultimate Spider-Man, and Deadpool was in one of the scenes, and the guy that came in, I was like, I'm so jealous of you. I'm jealous of you. You get to play Deadpool. Oh yeah, I think Deadpool. I'd like to play Deadpool for sure.
I would be okay with Ryan Reynolds being replaced by you.
Oh, thank you.
And that's hard to say because Ryan Reynolds should be replaced by nobody.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him. He's I like him.
I think that'd be really fun. And I think what you need to do is you probably should have just turned to the director and go, I can do more than one voice at a time. I have proven this.
You would be like the sassiest Deadpool ever, and that would be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I would.
Or if there's
that is the level of sass that Deadpool needs.
If there's like a multiverse thing where they bring in another Deadpool, you could be the multiverse Deadpool. That'd be awesome.
Good idea, Tim. Good idea. Nice.
I mean, because Peter Parker and Miles were in the same scene together. Multiverse Spider-Mans. Why not?
There's multiple Deadpools. Yeah.
So why not?
And so many other ones.
So if any casting directors are watching this, Ogie would be amazing as Deadpool, and he has our support.
See you.
So
definitely.
So all right, cool. So Chris, I hope that answers your question. I hope you're satisfied with the answer, because. Well, I am. I thought it was a really good answer.
Honest answer. My honest answer.
No, I love it. I think it's a great answer. All right, so Ogie, we're at a point in our show now where we want to play a little quiz game with you. It's a 5-question game. Okay. Now, all these questions are based upon Luke Cage and Miles Morales.
Okay.
So hopefully, not too difficult for you, but I think I have one or two in here that might cause you to have a little bit of trepidation.
Okay.
All right. So if you get 3 of those questions right, I want to send you not this mug, but one that hasn't been drank out of yet. But this is the I Gave to the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans mug. That's
Sweet.
Okay.
Okay.
And on the back side of it, it has our funny science fiction logo. Okay. If you get 4 questions right, I want to send you the mug and this book, which is Custodians of the Cosmos, written by our group founder, Drayton Allen. Okay. It's all about a young man who wanted to join Starfleet in the Star Trek universe, but he wasn't any good at it, so he washed out and became a custodian on one of the ships. And his job is to boldly clean up after those who boldly just went. So
it is one of the funniest books I've ever read.
Now
I wasn't expecting that.
Back there on the wolf shelf.
So, and we'll make sure that if you get to the book level, we'll make sure that Drayton autographs it for you and put some nice words in the front of it for you. However, as Frank can attest to, if you don't get to at least 3 questions, we want to take your picture and make a meme out of you and post it in our group. We call it a fun sequence.
Okay.
Are you good with that?
Oh, I'm fine with it.
You are in good company in the meme world, though.
Frank is a meme recipient.
Okay. Good.
Give it to me. I feed off memes.
Okay,
that's
good.
right. Dan Povenmire from Phineas and Ferb, the co-creator of Phineas and Ferb, is one of our meme recipients.
Good company.
We got one more out there somewhere. I don't remember who yet, but he's out there somewhere.
We should write it.
It's just me.
We had a list.
And then Robin Curtis just wanted us to make a meme of her because she thought it sounded like fun, so we did. Oh, you know what? It was Alan from Level Up Lightsabers. We haven't done his episode yet, but I have his pictures, so that's coming.
Oh, right! I forgot he got memed.
That's right. He is very much memed. He's been memed. All right. So, like I said, 5 questions. 4 of the 5 are multiple choice. One question is true false.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Kathleen, take us away.
All right. Before changing his name to Luke Cage, what was his name? A. Ron Lucas. B. Carl Lucas, or C. Lucas Carl?
Could you give me the choices again, please?
A. Ron Lucas, B. Carl Lucas, or C. Lucas Carl?
I'm looking for a hint in Frank or Tim's eyes, but I didn't see any. I didn't see any movement on anything between you guys. You're not giving me any hints. Can I ask a question? I mean,
get the Morse code out there.
Did his parents give him this name, or this was his born name?
Yes.
I believe this is his born name.
So, Carl Lucas, Lucas.
So
Ron
Lucas.
Yep. B. Carl Lucas. Or C. Lucas Carl. A.
I'm gonna go with Ron. I'm gonna go with Ron.
No.
Is it Carl? It's Carl.
It's
B. Carl Lucas.
I was trying to emphasize the B.
Carl is the more chocolatey name too. I knew it. I just didn't want to go obvious with the chocolatey name Carl. I'm like, it can't be just Carl. I was like, they named him. Okay.
They named him Carl.
Oh my goodness. For question number 2, don't worry, you got more chances here.
Okay.
True or false? Luke Cage supports the Superhuman Registration Act. You can flip a coin.
Registration what? The registration.
The Superhuman Registration Act from the Civil War comic book event.
Okay.
And also led to what was part of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance video games.
Yes.
Does he support that? I'd say false.
You are correct, sir. Oh, he's got one. He's on the board.
There we go.
All right. Question 3.
Okay.
Which of these events prompted Miles Morales to use his newfound powers to fight crime? A. the death of Peter Parker, B, the death of his mother, or C, the death of his uncle?
A.
Correct!
Correct.
Yes.
You
All
got
right.
it. You got it.
Very good.
Yeah, I think I sort of spoiled it earlier. I held this guy up, and they're just like, "We didn't kill him yet. Don't worry. He's not dead. He can still be in this event. It's fine."
He's only mostly dead.
He's only mostly dead. For question number 4. So you're 2 out of 3. That's not bad. Question 4. Which of these heroes tried to get Miles Morales to stop calling himself Spider-Man? A, Iron Man, B, Captain America, or C, Black Panther?
I'm gonna say Iron Man. Iron Man.
All right. Final answer?
No. I'm gonna.
The power of the final answer.
I'm gonna say it's Captain America.
I would say that you have earned yourself a mug then.
Captain America.
The one with the superiority complex.
Yes.
Oh, that was great. All right, last and final question.
All right. Question 5. This person is credited with the inspiration for Miles Morales. A, Barack Obama. B, Donald Glover. Or C, Glover. Wow, sorry, thank you. Or C, Danny Glover.
Donald.
It's actually a trick question. Because if you would have said Barack, we would have given it to you. And if you would have said Donald, I would have given it to you.
So you still get it.
So yeah, you still get it. So you get the book.
Oh.
Yes.
You get the book and the coffee mug.
Yes.
So yeah,
and then Frank has to live alone in his meme world.
Yeah, back in 2008 when Obama was elected president, Stan Lee and some of the guys at Marvel said, well, if a black man can be president, why can't we do this with Spider-Man? And then in 2012, Donald Glover made a big push to get involved with the Miles Morales story. So, and that's when it came, even a little hard charged more into light. So
yeah, that's why I went with B.
Yeah, absolutely. Good
Both
job.
answers are right.
All right, so you got 4 out of 5. You had to work for a couple of them. I feel much better about this quiz than I did the other ones.
Right, the other ones have been some serious softball questions.
I've been told that I write too easy of questions.
This was good. This was good.
Well, thank you. I tried. All right, so 4 out of 5. So after we say goodbye to our guests, stick around a moment. We'll get all your shipping information and make sure that we really do want to send you those. Those aren't just for show.
All right, OG, thank you so much for being on the Funny Science Fiction Podcast. Today, where can people find about all your previous work and what you're doing right now?
You can follow me, Ogie Banks, OGIE, Banks, BANKS. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. You can Google me. just type my little OGIE Banks in the Google and the Google search, and bam, you can see my images, my interviews, my pictures. Oh, I said pictures. I said that already. You can see my list of accomplishments. You can see it all there.
Disclaimer: the Funny Science Fiction Podcast does not condone Googling people.
We consider that to be a light stalking, but whatever.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Unless you put the pretty bow on it and call it research.
That's right.
There you go.
But we will make sure that we put your Instagram name in our description for the people who can find you, and we will kindly remind them that they can use Google.
Thank you.
All right. And we also want to remind everybody that subscribing is the single most important thing that you can do to ensure that we get more amazing guests like Ogie Banks today and co-hosts like Frank Duran to come on and play along with us so you guys get funny moments to listen to. So please subscribe. It's going to help us well more than you can ever imagine. And be sure to go check out Ogie's work. And trust me, just when you think that you've discovered all he's done, there's plenty more to find. And go check out the Warped Shelf. That's Frank's podcast. I'm a subscriber. I love his show. Please go check it out. If you like deep dives and comedy, it's a comedy show. It's a geek show like ours, but there's a lot to laugh about on that show as well. So go check it out. And as a reminder, if you are not happy with the content of our videos, all you have to do is submit in triplicate, of course, to the head of our complaint department, Claude Wolf of the Monster High. And he will handle this in the most monster way possible. He, of course, refuses to tell us what that is. Apparently, that's on a monster need to know status, and we're not monsters. We're just nerds with a podcast, apparently. But I'm sure it'll be handled. Most likely.
Thank you. Thanks again, Ogie. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you, Ogie. Thank you so much for being a guest on Funny Science Fiction.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Goodbye, everyone, and thank you for watching.
Bye, everybody.
Our show is brought to you by our charity sponsor, the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund, which supports the Wish Upon a Teen Foundation that helps out sick kids when they need it most. And just imagine the comfort you'll give Red Shirt crewman number 42. He'll know that when he puts on the red shirt and steps in front of a Green Goblin hand grenade in a foolish attempt to protect Miles Morales, that he didn't leave his family destitute and without hope. Because the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund had his back, and the aglet off his right work boot.
Now, speaking of sponsors and show partners, check out this super cool short video from our good friends over at Level Up Lightsaber. Yep, still not old. Still
No,
like that
never gonna get old, I don't think.
All right, and we will include a link for our affiliate store down in the comments below. Please check it out and go get yourself a lightsaber from Level Up.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of Funny Science Fiction, we'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our future episodes, please contact us by means of our Facebook group, Funny Science Fiction. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FunnySci-Fi, or you can go to DraytonAllen.com and click the Contact Me link at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Copyright 2020 by Drayton Allen. Original music by Jordan Michaels. Reference to any specific product or entity mentioned in this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation of or by Funny Science Fiction or its sponsors. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at DraytonAllen@DraytonAllen.com.